If you've recently updated to version 1.2 of the AI eLearning Powerpack, then you'll likely find this message at the top advising that the OpenAI Assistance API will be deprecated on August 26, 2026, and that you'll need to switch to something called the Responses API. And in this video, we're just going to show you how you can achieve this. Now, firstly, to give some context, this is a change being made by OpenAI, the people who power ChatGPT and other AI platforms like that. And the AI eLearning Powerpack currently uses something called the Assistance API. But what they're saying here is that the Assistance API is going to be shut down on August the 26th, 2026, and it will be replaced by something called the Responses API. And what it says is that the Responses API is a simpler and more flexible mental model. So what we need to do prior to August 2026 is make sure that the assistants that you've got set up are migrated over to this new Responses API. Now we've made it so that the plugin can handle this, and we'll go through the steps to do that now. So firstly, if you head over to the Assistants tab, you'll find any assistants that you've already set up. And these will have in here the assistant ID. And this is what you've set up previously. You set up an assistant within the OpenAI platform, got an ID and pasted it into here and set up your assistants based on that. What we've got now is a new column for something called the prompt ID. And that is what is replacing the assistant ID here. This is part of the Responses API, and this is what we're going to be moving towards. So I've got an assistant here that I've had previously, Jordan, and I'm going to move Jordan across to the Responses API. So even though I haven't done that yet, the conversations still work. I haven't moved that across, but this is still before August 26th, so these still work. But there's no reason you can't do this before the August 26th. And to do this, what we need to do is find our assistant in the OpenAI platform. And this is platform.openai.com. If you head to the dashboard and then assistants, then you'll see all of the assistants that you've got set up and the one that you currently have linked with your platform via the AI eLearning Powerpack. And to help recognize these, the assistant ID is shown here underneath the name of the assistant, and you should find that that matches the ID here. And so that is the ID that you're currently using, and the one that will be soon deprecated and need to be moved over to the Responses API. So in a new window, I'm just going to open this chat at the top here. Now, chat prompts are essentially what are replacing assistants. And we're going to create a new chat prompt here and just click on create. And what I'm going to do is copy in the system instructions that I previously used for Jordan here, just into the system message here. And notice that we can still do things like change the model. We can add various variables if we want to. And notice that the new prompts can link with a lot more things like MCP servers, file search, web search, code interpreters. So there's a lot more that they can do. And if in the previous assistant you had file search enabled and uploaded some files to provide some additional context, then you would do the same on the prompt. So you would go to Tools, Add, File Search, and then you can drag your files there and upload them for that particular assistant. Once you've done that, all you need to do is click on Save, and for the name of it, I'm just going to copy exactly as it was before, Jordan, the data-driven investor. I'm just going to click Publish. So we've now got our prompt published here, and we can copy the prompt ID just by clicking this here, But if you did miss that, then you can do the same by clicking on these dots here and copying it from there. Notice that prompt IDs start PMPT underscore, whereas assistant IDs start ASST underscore. And all we need to do is copy and paste in the prompt there, prompt ID. So now we're using a prompt ID for Jordan here. And I'm going to click Save Changes. And then head back to the OpenAI Settings tab here. And then where it says here, Use Responses API recommended, we're going to tick that now because we're ready to use that because we've set up a prompt ID for our assistant. And I'm going to click Save Changes. And now if I head back to here and refresh, we'll find that we can still talk to Jordan. He's now been switched over to the Responses API, and he will now be able to talk as normal, and everything will be as it was previously. So we've moved there over to the Responses API. If you have any questions on this, contact us via the Training Spark website or the knowledge base at knowledgebase.training-spark.com, and we'll be more than happy to help.